Once upon a time, there was two brothers. Now, these two brothers had a pretty traumatized childhood. They were being raised in a broken family, and their male role model was a drunkard, an abuser. So they grew up with just their mother. Their mother didn't have family support around her. She was working multiple jobs just to put a roof over their head, just to make sure that they had enough food to eat every day. So it was a really tough environment, and these two brothers' stories could not be further from each other. Now, one of these brothers was so defeated by the situation that he didn't know that there was any other reality that he could have. He didn't accept that he was worthy of experiencing anything other than what he already had experienced. So he continued this cycle. When he became older, he also started drinking. He also was aggressive and abusive to others. And he basically repeated this cycle that he had been shown. He accepted his environment. He accepted that situation as all that he would ever know. And he lived that out. While on the other hand, the other brother accepted that situation as one that he never wanted to repeat. He did not want to have a family in the same situation. He did not want to have children that would grow up in the same situation. So he set out to make his situation different, to change the narrative that he had been told. Now, this story, for me, illustrates the power of our mindset. We have the choice in life, and when it comes to our own success, we are the drivers of that. It is a personal choice whether or not we act or be successful or we don't. Personal success is deeply unique to you as an individual, so no one else can label what you have as success or not success. It's something that you need to label for yourself, which kind of shows the real importance here of having a mindset, because our mindset, after all, dictates how we view the world. Our mindset is our perception, is the labels that we place on things. Whether we label a situation as good, bad, whether we label certain things as a desire or a love or a hate, the kind of framing that we give to the world is our mindset. So we can either have one with lots of adjectives, lots of descriptive words that try and describe the reality in a way that attracts us to one type of reality and pulls us away from another reality, or we can have a type of mindset that is really open to what is before us in a way that tries not to frame it so emotionally, loves, hates. So it is completely our choice. And to be successful, I believe it comes down to your mindset. Everyone has the power to have a successful life if only they step into the mindset of success. Work. New task, new problem. I'll figure out how it fits in. Right? So when we have an open mindset that is accepting of the situation and that puts us in the driver's seat, then we're going to have a much better outcome. If we are feeling that the world is acting on us, that we do not have a say in what is going on, then it is also easy to be overwhelmed and to let success slip away from us. So what is stopping us from reaching our goals? Is it our knowledge, our ability, our networks around us? Is it the resources that we have available? Is it our ability to prioritize our time, our mental health, our diet and physical health. And I know that I just kind of cocked that up, being that mental health and physical health, we can just group them in as the same. Or is it the social pressure that we feel? What is it that is stopping us from reaching our goals? What is it that is stopping us from understanding and accepting our success as it is now? Because each and every one of us can be successful in the now. And so if your goal is to have personal success, then what is stopping you from reaching that goal? Well, I like to break it down into the 3 C's. So if you don't have clarity, confidence, and commitment, then it's going to be very hard for you to understand and be successful. They all require action. Right? So we can't, and they're all kind of interlinked. We can't have one without the other. So we need clarity to be able to commit. And once we commit, we need the confidence to be able to keep driving that commitment forward. And as we keep taking action, we get more clarity, which helps us to get more confident, which helps us to commit. So these are interlinked. These are deeply connected. So our perception and our mindset is absolutely fundamental to the way that we see the world and the way that we act in of that world. So our mindset is created by the language that we use. It's the language that we accept, our internal dialogue, the thoughts that we accept as real. This all creates our perception of reality. Now, with our perception of reality, we can either then take an internal locus of control, meaning that we take a full responsibility where we can act, where we can have an impact on what is going on around us, the situation around us, or we can be a victim to the situation. The situation happens to us and we do not have any say in how that situation can be played out. But having a positive mindset, having a mindset that puts us in control, is a requirement for being personally successful. It is important for our health and well-being. And so this is just a quick little summary of some research questions that I posed in the census.app program. And what it does is it correlates research findings and tries to come up with what the scientific consensus is from the studies available. And so I just asked it a few questions in this case. Does the language we use create our perception? And 83% of the papers agreed that the language that we use to describe our situation impacts the way that we see that situation. So it can be kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? It can be that you call something bad and therefore it becomes bad. Our perception takes hold and it becomes the reality that it is bad. We call something good and our perception takes hold of that it is good. And we drive that reality that thing is good. Then I asked, is our internal locus of control connected with success? Now, internal locus of control compared to external locus of control is whether or not we feel we are in control of our lives, or whether we take full responsibility for how we can act, how we can think, how we can feel. So we take that on board. An external locus of control is when we view that we are unable to change our thoughts, we are unable to change our actions, we are unable to impact the world around us. That success is there for the lucky, for those who have already been handed certain resources. But it has nothing to do with them and their responsibility. It has to do with the external environment to them. And the analysis showed that having a internal, being able to be self-responsible, was connected with our success. The next question I posed is mindset important for health and well-being? And it came back with yes, that without a positive mindset, without an open mindset to learn and to adapt and to change our behaviors, without an open mindset to be able to communicate with others and to value others and to be able to manage conflict, then we were less healthy and we had less likelihood of truly having a well-fulfilled life. So mindset is absolutely critical to your success, not only your personal success, but for your business success, your entrepreneurial success. It is a mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. Our thoughts and feelings are not reality. They are our perception of reality. The two are not the same. Our thoughts and our feelings, our thoughts help us program our feelings, and our feelings help us drive our actions, our habits. So by having a mindset that is open to learning things and not accepting things without first consciously analyzing them, then we are not being smart. All right, so our mindset is absolutely critical. So internal labeling, how you see the world, your perception. Your thoughts and emotions have a direct impact on your body's response, and all three factors contribute to your behavior and actions. You cannot help anyone who is not willing to give up the things that make them suffer. You cannot help yourself if you are not willing to give up the things that make you suffer. Thoughts determine what we feel, and feelings determine what we do. So the takeaways here is that your thoughts create your feelings. How you think about and interpret what happens to you influences your feelings. You get what you focus on. If you focus on the negative side of a situation, your mood will reflect it. How you interpret what happens in your life is important. The meaning you assign to events and experiences shape your thoughts and your mood. There's something to be said for rose-colored glasses. So when you see things in a positive light, when you see things as an opportunity, when you are thankful for what is before you, you are able to act in that feeling, in that emotion, in a way that creates more opportunity, that creates more sense of gratitude or thankfulness, which then goes on to peace and happiness. So fundamentally, our mindsets and our perception is at the core of how we think, feel, and act. It is absolutely critical to have the right mindset for what you want to achieve. And it says in Proverbs, be careful what you think. Your thoughts run your life. Do not use your mouth to tell lies. Don't ever say things that are not true. So the risk that we have is when we start to label things incorrectly, is that we start to believe that as part of our perception. And therefore, we misinterpret, we misperceive the reality. We misperceive what is going on. And now if we are misperceiving what is going on, then we might think that something is safe when it is incredibly dangerous, or the opposite. We might feel that it is incredibly dangerous when it is, in fact, safe. So it can stop us from acting, or it can enable us to act. Either way, if we don't have our mindsets aligned with the reality that's going on in a way that encourages ourselves to take action, then we will not be successful. We will be programming ourselves to rely on things that are not true, and therefore we will take actions that are not true. So, for example, if you were crossing the road, you'd look and see if there was cars. But if you were not seeing the reality, you would say, hey, there's no cars when there is cars, and you could get hit. Right? So this is just an extreme case of if we are not aligning with the reality as it is, and we are not aligning with the reality as it is in a way that creates an ability for us to act in a way that gives us the self-responsibility, the ability to respond to the situation, then we are taking away our power and we are taking away our personal success. So, universal principles of success. What are your principles of success? So, the results from 2 studies reported in this paper show the proposition that a positive mindset and a feeling of autonomy are essential for entrepreneurial success. So, up next, I'm going to be talking about the 12 universal mindset principles of success that you can employ, and if you start thinking like this, then you will also start to experience success in your life.